Hey everybody, how are you doing? I am just trying to find the video. Hopefully it will, that is not it. Hopefully it'll refresh. Thanks for the water, Stephen. My lovely boy is getting me some water. There I am. And I just gotta make sure my sound is off. Here we go. And now I can see your comments. Yay! So it doesn't look like anybody is here yet because you guys aren't expecting me today. I just kind of threw this in here. So I am gonna go ahead and wait a couple minutes, see if anybody shows up with me, because I know you guys weren't expecting me. So this is what we colored the other day, and this is just a continuation of Tuesday because we didn't get to color the other little guy with the parachute, but this is the card that I ended up finishing and making with this guy. So I hope you guys like him. I think it turned out really cute. This paper is actually digital paper as well that I found on Etsy. So I just absolutely love this paper. I think it's really fun because this is supposed to be like glitter paper back here. So it's not exactly glittery because I don't have like a magical printer for digital paper. I mean, it prints really good for digis and for paper, but it could be a lot better. I wish I could have a professional printer because I think that would be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we are coloring the cute little bun from the other day. I'm going to go ahead and start with the bun to see if anybody else shows up. I'm going to go ahead and start with E51, E55, E53, E50, R00, R01, and then R02. This is going to be his ears and his nose. So I'm going to go ahead and start with E53. And let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and go with his ear. And remember, I'm just going to go ahead. I really liked how this turned out last time. So I'm just going to do it this way again. I'm going to go ahead and put the inside of his ear kind of flopping down. And of course, we'll have the sun coming from both directions again, okay? And his ear is gonna be, looks like it's gonna be covering his face on this side. And then I'm just gonna go under his nose. And then I'll get like right underneath his head, and then get his arms. Get this little back foot, and get this leg, and get his little bum. The sun is coming this way, so his bum will get some light, but I'm still going to put some shading underneath the bow. So, and I'm going to put some shading on this side of the bow because between his head and the ribbon, it's not going to get any light at all right here. And then we'll put some shading on the underside of his little belly. Okay. Now his head, it's questionable whether his head would get any light or not on this side, just because you've got the bow here, but his head would probably be sticking out a little bit further than the bow. Maybe not. Trying to stay on camera here. Go ahead and make those lines. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and go underneath his little face right here just a tiny bit, just a thin line. There we go. And I do have him printed out at 4.5 inches, just so that he's a little bit bigger. Now I'm going to go ahead and use E51. If I can find it, here we go. Whoops. Okay. And I'm actually kind of going over these lines. I'm going to pull into his ear a little bit, the inside of his ear. And I'm just smoothing out these E53 lines, just like I did on Tuesday. So let's see, pull that out a little bit, because we're going to go over that with E55 anyways, so it'll be just fine. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull that out a little bit, get some shading in here. And I'm just pulling out the E53. This little guy is so tiny, the coloring on him should go pretty fast. It's the chute that's going to take a little bit more time. So I didn't color his little tail with the E53, just because I know that's probably going to get a lot of light. And now I'm going to go ahead and use, oh wait, never mind, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with my my R01, and I'm going to get the inside of his ears, not completely, I'm just pulling it out part way. And I completely forgot to refill this. And then I'm going to go side of his nose. Thank goodness I don't need a whole lot of that R01. Now I'm going to use R00 and just pull out the rest of his ears. And finish out his little nose. So now I will go ahead and use the E50. And finish out the rest of his little body, and then we'll go back with the E55. There we go. And get his little arms and the rest of his tiny little body. See, this one went pretty darn fast because he's just so small. So now I'm going to use the E55 to do what we did yesterday, or Tuesday. I feel like Tuesday was yesterday. And I'm just going to get the insides of his ears. There we go. Remember, not going up all the way. I'm going to put a little bit more shadow here on this side of his face and on this side of his neck. I'm also going to put a little bit more shadow right here on the underbelly of his, on the side of the ribbon and on his underbelly. And then get some more on his legs. I actually put the shadow on the wrong side of his legs the first time in the back, so hopefully that will correct it, because I wasn't completely paying attention. Get his ear right here, just because his head is blocking that part of his ear, and then we'll get right underneath this bow with the E55 as well. So now I'll use E53 to pull that out a little bit. Really deepen that area of his ears. Make it really stand out. And I'm just going over it and pulling it out. I'm not going into the pink, I'm actually pulling out into the brown, into the E50s. So here we go. Hopefully that'll correct it. It looks like it is correcting it. Here we go. Get behind his neck, get his belly. And get underneath the bow. And then instead of going with the, well, actually I think I will go with the E51. So here we go. Just pull that out. There, he is looking adorable. Now I'm going to use R01 again. No, I'm not. That thing is just too dry. I need to put that in my refill bucket. So I'm just going to use the R00, R00 to pull this out and to fill in his nose. There we go. So now we are done with the bunny. So now for the parachute. This is going to work a lot like the other, the hot air balloon that we did on Tuesday, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use Y13, Y00, Y11, and Y04. So Y13 is actually going to be our darkest, but I'm going to start out with that one just so that I can get those barrier lines and the highlights worked into where I want them to go. So you can see one of the nice things is it's got the little, where it shows that it looks like it's billowed out or ballooned out, whatever you want to call it. So that will help you determine where and how you want things to look. There we go. So that was Y13. Now I'm going to go ahead and use Y11. I have to say it's quite weird not having anybody actually here right now. So I'm just doing little tiny flicks, and I'm going to do it on both sides of the balloon. And I'm just pulling that Y13 out. Okay? But when I'm bringing it in, I'm kind of making it curved so that the parachute will look curved as well, just like we did yesterday. But you don't want the part that's really pushed out, you don't want that to have a lot of shadow. You want that to be your lightest color. So you know what, I don't think I'm going to use the Y04. I might, but I might not. So here's the Y00, and I'm just going all the way across in a half moon motion, just like I showed you up above. Here we go. Trying to make sure I'm staying in the camera here. So now I'm going to use the Y04, And I'm going to go ahead and pull this out some more. This will make it a little bit darker and a little bit brighter. Because while it has a 4, it is darker, it has more color than the 13, but it also is a little bit brighter because it has no gray in it. So that's one thing you have to watch when you're mixing your colors, is whether or not something is darker because of the gray that's in it, or if it's darker because of how much of the yellow or whatever is in it. Whatever its base color is. In this case, of course, it's Y because it's yellow because it's a Y color. There we go. So now I'm just going to go ahead and go with the Y00 and smooth that out. So there's my yellow, and I'm still on the pink lemonade kick. So this time I'm going to go with R81, RV00, and RV10 to get the pinks that I want. So I'm going to start out with my RV10, and I'm just going to get those lines in where I want them. Now I'm only going on this side because you can tell that it's kind of going around the back side. So this one, I will actually be doing both sides, and then this one again just on the one side, because again it looks like it's going around the back. So now that I have my lines in, I'm going to be doing the same thing. This time I'm going to kind of make sure that this is tapered and that it just comes out further and further as I go down. This one, I just want to make sure that it remains the same size all the way down, because we have to put our highlight in the center. Now on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I might as well start at this side. Just, I don't know about you guys, but I always start out small and then I start going out bigger if I'm not really paying attention. So might as well start out at the big side. And again, just doing those little half moon flicks and just doing them kind of small. And then go to this side and do the small bits. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to RV00, and I'm still making that half moon kind of little shape, little flick motion, whatever you want to call it. And then this one I'm actually going to go into my RV10 flicks. I really want that contrast to stay, and same on this side. See, it doesn't really take much. Seems like it would be more, I mean, besides the basket, but it really doesn't take that much to color this one. So this one I'm going to go ahead and put the contrast in. And I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. And I gotta be careful because it's red. Even though it's pink, it's got the red in there. So if I make one wrong move and have to try to erase it, it's gonna bleed, bleed, bleed. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and make some lines down the sides on this one. I'm not even gonna flick it out. I'll do that with my RV10. There we go. I don't know about you guys, but when you guys were kids, did you ever do like the little, when you were coloring in your coloring books, did you ever do like the little barrier outline thing to help you stay in the lines? I think that's mostly why I do that. Make those lines like that. Wait, 4 comments? How come I'm not seeing the comments? What's going on here, Mac? What the heck? Okay, hang on. I'm not seeing your all's comments at all. This is some garbage. Ugh. What? This stinks. Let's see here. Right down the street, so had something to do with it. Mine's freezing too. Facebook. Oh, Facebook, you guys, has been freezing on me and doing funky stuff for like a week. No joke. It's been terrible. I mean, it's absolutely awful. So I have it on the big screen showing where I'm at, and I'm only seeing your guys' comments if I stop and go to the little screen. Like in the group when I very first try to find myself. Sounds so funny trying to find myself. So I'm actually blending that R81 out a bit because I kind of want it to look textured. You know how, I don't know how to explain this, but do you know how like if you leave some clothing out in the sun for a really long time, it just really starts to look faded and worn and yucky and, you know, just kind of, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't look yucky, sometimes it actually looks kind of cool. But that's kind of what the look I'm going for with this little parachute. So that was RV10. Here's my RV00 again, just to go over the middle. And just to get this, I might go over this again, but it looks like it's pretty seriously inked up. Let's check the back. No, it's pretty even, so looks fine, looks fine. So now we have the bow. The bow I'm going to go ahead and do pink as well. Here we go. And I'm just going to do a few little, like, I'm just going to do a little line right there. Yeah, this is inked. It's sticking to my hand. Do a little that way. We can catch more of, you know, a little bit more detail with a white pen, white gel pen. There we go. And get the end of the bow. And then go back in with the R81 and bring that highlight back in, or the shadow, contrast, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about by now. So now I'm just lightly going in with the R81. Get that shading back in there. There we go. Hang on, I gotta get this moved a little bit so I can get my flicks going the right direction. There we go. I'm liking it. I'm thinking it's super cute. I'm in love with it. I don't know about y'all, but it completely makes me think of lemonade. There we go. See, I've gone over this 3 times now to get the look that I want. So now you guys know why I am so heavy-handed. I am crazy. I will work on something until I just feel like I've ruined it or it looks good. One or the other. Because you know something will happen. It'll either go in the circular file, get cut up, or it'll fix itself. There we go. Now we just need a white pen. Let's see, that's my 08. Here's my 05. So I'm just gonna put some little marks in there. Kind of outline that little flick that I did. Can y'all see that? I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Hopefully I'm in the right place on the darn camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of shine on his little wee nose. And I'll put a little bit of shine on the little bits of the parachute. There we go. And he is done, or she is done, I guess. So let's see. Oh, I forgot those little things. I'm going to use my silver again for the little rings. Little hoopy hoop things. There we go. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed him, and I hope that you had a fun time in class. And I almost fell over there. And now that I'm standing up, I know that you guys can kind of see the little things. There we go. And so I hope you guys enjoyed him, and I hope you like him. I think you guys might have to, since FB is being such a pain in the butt, you guys might have to watch this later, and I'm super sorry about that. So I will see you guys on Tuesday. We're going to color this little girl, okay? She is a, I'm not sure if she's a digi or not, so, but we're gonna color her on Tuesday. It's summertime, and I thought she would be great. So I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.